22,700 people died from violence between now and 2007. Can you guess where these deaths occurred? Baghdad, Iraq? A real-life war zone? Or maybe Somalia, where civil wars have overthrown any law enforcement? No, these murders, almost all of them drug-related, took place in Mexico, after Mexican President Felipe Calderón declared war on drug traffickers. When I first heard these outrageous numbers, I could only think of one question. How did it get so bad? I found out that the drug traffickers President Calderón has declared war on are actually very sophisticated and organized gangs calling themselves cartels. Most of these cartels were established in the mid-1980s when Colombia was using them to transport large amounts of cocaine into the United States. Since February 2010, the major cartels have aligned in two factions. One controlled by the Juarez cartel, the Tijuana cartel, and the Los Zetas cartel. The other faction is controlled by the Gulf cartel, the Sinaloa cartel, and La Familia cartel. As I did more research, I discovered just how powerful these cartels really are. They use extreme violence to intimidate the public and often extort and blackmail police chiefs to look the other way.
Here, soldiers raided a gang's warehouse in northern Mexico. The soldiers found thousands of dollars stashed away, but the weird thing was, the money was organized just for the police and the press only. During the raid, only 4 people were found in the crime scene and they were arrested that following day.
Mexican drug cartels now control almost all of the cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, and most importantly, marijuana going into the United States. Marijuana alone makes these cartels up to $1 million a day. With all the focus recently in politics regarding immigration and the laws made to increase our border protection, I started wondering how exactly the cartels smuggle drugs into the United States. I mean, it's got to be hard, right? When the Mexican government finally stepped up in 2007 and declared all-out war on these cartels, things started to get bloody. The cartels show no remorse in their killings, oftentimes decapitating their victims.
Authorities have found the decapitated bodies of a dozen men in southern Mexico in what appears to be the latest incident in a rising wave of drug-fueled violence.
It's the latest gruesome discovery in a wave of violence that's gripped this Mexican border city. The bodies of 9 decapitated men were found in a vacant, empty lot in this poor Tijuana neighborhood, just miles from San Diego.
The amount of violence in Mexico strikes fear into every Mexican citizen. Most are afraid to go outside after dark. Murders often go unsolved. The police department simply has too much to do.
There's a lot to pay attention to in Mexico. 60,000 Mexican military and police are fighting against the 5 major drug cartels, which control lucrative smuggling routes into the U.S. They've managed to arrest some top traffickers, but new, more ruthless leaders have filled the vacuum, battling both the government and each other. They're terrorizing the country with very public acts of violence. In December, this group of Mexican soldiers was found with their heads cut off, and a note from traffickers warning, "For every one of mine you kill, we will kill 10. This decapitated man was left hanging from a bridge. His head was found in the town square. Last year alone, nearly 6,300 people were killed in Mexico's drug war. That's more than double the number the year before. Cartels are also increasingly expanding into human smuggling, extortion, and kidnapping. Smaller criminal gangs have also gotten into the game, turning Mexico into one of the kidnapping capitals of the world.
Wrapping her body in the colors police use to identify crime scenes, 20-year-old Nora Franco silently protests the drug violence that has taken over her city. She knew that Cuernavaca would never be the same once she started getting threatening text messages and hearing about kidnappings. But then the cartels hit close to home.
The gangs killed two of my close friends.
The killings occurred after violence exploded in 2009, when cartel leader Arturo Beltran Leiva was killed by the Mexican military, setting off a bloody turf war, and a vicious public relations campaign by the rival gangs. The way they send their messages varies, from hanging banners announcing their presence to leaving dead bodies hanging from major bridges, causing fear and panic.
On one side, the drug cartels are talking to the public, saying, don't mess with us, don't step in our interests. But also they're talking to the Mexican street. They're talking to the young thugs, the young hooligans in that area, to say, we are the most powerful cartel in this plaza, in this area. If you want to be on the winning team, then come with us.
In a sign of their sophistication, they have turned to the internet to spread their message of fear, posting gruesome videos of beheadings and torture, similar to ones by terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda. But the most dramatic way the gangs deliver their message is on local and national broadcasts.
You may ask yourself, how exactly does this topic go with the theme? But revolution, reaction, and reform in history has a lot to do with the Mexican cartel. The cartel is a huge revolution taking place in Mexico. It's basically the government going against all the drug gangs and drug lords. During the past couple years, the cartel has caused so much damage to the country, including killings and making the government more dangerous for others to live in. Reaction. People's reaction to the events are making them flee from their hometowns to move into a safer place for them and for their families. The government has started a huge war against the drug cartels, but again, you can't really do much to make the violence decrease or purposely get rid of the cartel itself because of how big it has already gotten throughout the years. Reformed in history. It's already a big part of the world's history. Mexico has gone from being a peaceful country to a gang-related violence occurring daily. The cartels try anything to smuggle drugs across the border and will kill anyone in their way. During this period of time, it's affected more than just Mexico. It's affected other countries all over the world too.
I wanted to end this video with a clip I found on the internet. The clip really showed me how evil these cartels really are. It contains footage from deep inside of the Mexican cartel world, something we rarely get to see.
This video shows 4 men confessing to be members of the Zetas. Captured and interrogated by their rivals in the Sinaloa cartel, they revealed the disturbing reality about the inner workings of narco-terrorism.
Mi nombre es Juan Miguel Vizcarra Cruz, vivo en calle Carranza, número 26, Colonia Pescadores. Estuve en el ejército mexicano y 8 meses de guerra.
Bueno, yo mando Z14 Lescano, ya que tengo unos contactos en el ejército, para ver los líneas, ya de que Lascano y Goyo están enojados con el procurador, porque cuando fue el operativo contra el gordo matan, no se les avisó. Y piensan quebrarlo, ya de que se les está dando una cuota, la cual no cumplió.
Yo soy reclutador de los Zetas. Hay 3 puntos de reclutamiento, que es Monterrey, Nuevo Laredo. A mí me contrató Iván Treviño para Nuevo Laredo, para levantar gente y matar gente, ya que la plaza pertenece a los Zetas.